Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Too Hot to Handle coverage here on the Hot Dummies on Islands podcast. We are also on the Rob Has a Podcast YouTube channel, so if you want to watch and comment, we're here, baby. I'm, of course, Kirsten MacInnis, and I am joined this week by the amazing Torry. Torry, how are you doing?
I'm doing so well. Thanks so much for having me.
Torry, before we jump into the Too Hot to Handle of it all, can you let the people know about your podcast?
Totally. I podcast about pop culture news, I would say specifically, and celebrity gossip over on Ready to Be Petty. And then I cover romance novels and their adaptations over on Ready to Be Romanced.
Yes, and they're both great. So check them out if you are interested
Thank you.
in pop culture or romance novels.
Thank you.
But we're here to talk about Too Hot to Handle Season 6. The last 3 episodes are out. We have a conclusion. We have a winner. Torry, what did you think of this season?
Okay, so Too Hot to Handle is like my favorite TV show.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And here's the thing. I still think the premise is good. I thought the casting was okay. It was still a pleasure to watch, but I think this being in the kind of background of Love Island USA, I just feel like it looks so bad and it's so boring. Like I truly and I won't talk shit the whole time. Like I will. We can talk about the really funny parts, the guitar playing, the candy party.
Yeah, there's a lot. There is a lot to talk about and a lot to enjoy.
Totally. But it's just really tough when Love Island USA was such a hit this year. And this just seemed like the jokes from the narrator, just, fell flat. I guess I don't know. I didn't enjoy it. I kind of wish that I just waited 2 months and watched it in September, October, and then I would have eaten it up. But it's tough when you had such a successful show that is so similar, with such a great cast and chemistry and post-season drama to watch this show and just feel a little tired, I think.
I think that's totally fair, because my sister is watching Too Hot to Handle, and she did watch Love Island this year, and she's obsessed. She's so devo that the season is over. She wishes that she literally said, I wish it could last forever to me today about Too Hot to Handle Season 6.
Yeah.
So I think that it really is if you watch Love Island USA Season 6, you might have a little bit of a bias towards that, which is totally fair because it was amazing. It was literally the #1 show, and now we're just sitting here waiting 2 more weeks for a reunion on that one. But at least Too Hot to Handle, it filled the time when Love Island was not on, and there is a lot of good stuff to talk about too. I do think that there is a bit of a struggle with the end of Too Hot to Handle and all of the love shows. They slow down quite a bit at the end, but that is why I purposefully booked you to come in to talk about the last batch, because you love this show so much, and I feel like you can be more positive about some of the slower parts as a result. Whereas the people who are here joining me because they're my friend doing me a favor, maybe you're as positive. You're my friend doing me a favor and you love the show.
Yeah, that's so fair. That's so funny. Yeah, it was still really fun to watch, and I'm sad that it's over, but yeah, I wasn't dying. I watching Love Island USA, I was literally counting down the minutes. I would press play at 6 o'clock, but 6 o'clock when 3 seconds had passed. I was refreshing my page, and this I was I'll get to that episode chunk in the next couple days and stuff like that.
Not quite as much appointment viewing, but again, still
exactly.
Fun. So where we left off at the end of episode 7 was Bri having a conversation with Demari about her date with Jaylen, and the show gave us a huge cliffhanger. We even didn't know if Bri and Jaylen had kissed or not with his free pass from the rules. But ultimately, She did not kiss Jaylen. She didn't want to jeopardize her relationship with Demari. And I really like, because a lot of times Bri will say a sentence and then Demari will basically just like rephrase that same sentence back to her. So she's like, I wouldn't do anything to jeopardize us. And he's like, yeah, I didn't think you would do anything to jeopardize. And it's like, you can tell he's mirroring her,
Yes,
which I think is kind of cute. But he's like, I trust you. And they get a green light to kiss. So everything was all fine on their date.
Yeah, he's a good active listener in that sense. And yeah, it was fun how they did this. Like, it was a cliffhanger, and it was funny how Bri was like, come a little closer and like stuff like that. And then yeah, just making like a whole scene out of it. But yeah, I'm happy for them. At this point, I was like, this seems like a walk in the park for them to head to the finale. But yeah, they deserve it.
I agree. I am still side-eyeing Demari, who needed to sit in a fake womb and have his mom remind him that women are people just like her. But you know what? If Bri can look past it, I guess I can look past it.
Exactly.
So we also get Charlie talking to Katherine about his date with Sabrina, her evil twin. And he's very much like, oh yeah, the date was good. We just had a chat. We didn't kiss. I was a good boy. He does not mention the like butt massage that he was doing with Sabrina. And they're very much just like, why aren't we getting a green light? Like, why isn't the green light happening?
Oh, why do you think the green light's not happening? Like, this is so frustrating. I'm like, we're at the end of the retreat. You clearly learned nothing. And either of them, you believed this. Like, not, I guess, like, didn't fully believe it, but it's like, you trusted him and he omitted the truth. And I think I feel like he like tried to play it off like a technicality, like, oh, well, she asked, did you kiss her? And it's like, well, I technically didn't do that. And I was like, you truly have learned nothing. Also, would you be mad about the massage if you were in Katherine's position?
I don't think I would, as long as he told me about it. And that's what she says too. Like, when she ultimately finds out, she's like, I would not have cared about a massage at all, but why did he lie about it?
100%. I think the lie was way worse. I feel like also this is kind of an underrated thing that actually I don't think you and I have even talked about this, but I think it's kind of like Survivor, where it's like they are probably so desperate for any type of, I was gonna say stimulation, and I meant just like I meant just like,
well, I mean, that is the whole point of the show, actually, Torry.
Yeah. No, but like I meant the stimuli, like phones, excitement, like they're
just like anything new, a hit of dopamine, like
exactly
anything.
Like they're so void of that. They're just sitting around for so much of the day. Like I feel like even more than on Love Island. And so I feel like sometimes people will just do that stuff. Like, oh, if I can spend 30 minutes massaging this girl and not have to just like go back and sit around the pool, like, sure, I'll do it just to do something.
Yeah. And all these people are so horned up that obviously they're gonna choose.
It's like edging a little bit.
Well, yeah, that's hey, we talk about this every season about how it's like it should not be this hard to go like 2 weeks without sexual contact, but these people just can't do it. But like they also make it harder on themselves because they still are like pushing the limits of what they're able to do constantly. Like, it's just truly a species that is foreign to me, except for like maybe Gianna, who seems like she might be normal.
Yeah.
So we also see Sabrina like talk to the girls and she's like, oh yeah, we did massages, but he asked me not to tell anyone about it. And so everyone's like, that's bad.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Jaylen is just kissing any woman who will kiss him because he also has a break from the rules.
Yeah, now, he forgets one of their names. I think Gianna's name. He's like Lucy and
mind you, he slept in a bed with Gianna and made out with her like through the night. But okay, Jaylen, what a gentleman. Okay. I thought that something more was going to come out of this like 12-hour free period. I really thought it was going to be like, well, we told you you had a free pass, but the other people in the villa didn't have a free pass and they have to pay like half price for any rule breaks or something.
Yeah. Same. It was actually pretty tame that
Yeah.
like, because really what happened other than Jaylen kissing Lucy and Gianna?
And then I think that Chris and Sabrina kissed in the bed that night, and then
Yes.
I think Gianna and Jaylen also kissed in the bed.
Yeah. Like pretty PG stuff.
Yeah, nothing like it. I honestly, I thought that they would straight up have sex, but they didn't.
100%. Yeah. They learned they were trying to be good, I
Listen,
guess.
they're learning and changing. They are evolving. In the morning, Lana is back, and she says, "Today you have to get on track or face the consequences," because this is mostly at Charlie for his lies, right? And so they have this very funny scene of like, so first Charlie talks to Bri and Demari and they're like, you have to tell Katherine the truth like right now. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like you got to tell her. And then he's like, okay, I'm going to tell her right now. And then there's a very funny scene of like Katherine looking for Sabrina, Charlie looking for Katherine, and they like can't find each other in the villa.
Yeah, this is another thing that kills me about this show because it's like who knows how fake it is, but like their reactions to like people finding out or people hooking up and breaking the rules and stuff like that, they're always so shocked. And it's like, how are you so shocked? But the other part is that how was Charlie adamant that Katherine was not going to find out about Sabrina when he went and talked about it with everybody? It's like obviously that's going to get back to her so quickly. So I'm glad that they
Yeah.
were like, yeah, you should go talk to her like ASAP, but it's like it's so funny when they tell everyone else but the person that they like harmed.
Well, and it's also like that's not even enough because even if he had told no one, Lana would have exposed it.
Outed them, yeah.
So I really don't know what the plan was there, but
No.
Charlie is too late. Sabrina and Katherine talk one on one before he gets a chance, and Katherine's like,
Mhm.
okay. And so
Mhm.
this is when they have like the candy part, the like Candyland party, and everyone's dressed
Yeah.
as like cotton candy. The costumes are
Yeah.
hilarious.
They were
And
so funny. It's getting so like you can tell they're like running out of themes. Like
well, the theme is nearly nude, and they just find a sub theme for that every single time.
exactly. But
I
the sub themes get funnier and funnier
yeah,
as this show goes on.
I loved the Candyland party. I thought it was perfect. I unironically would go to a Candyland party, I think.
Totally.
Uh
It's a very
because of
Katy Perry teenage dream era.
yes, it is, which just like this show is like maybe meant for a different time. Can you
Literally.
imagine if Too Hot to Handle had existed in like 2012? Which I know is like a little bit late for Teenage Dream era, but like that's when Glee
Mm,
covered it, so it's fine.
this would have been like I would have been scandalized by the show if it aired in 2012. Like I feel
Yeah.
like now I'm like, "Oh no, this is like kind of normal." I would have been shook to my core if I watched this 12 years ago.
I agree. It would have had to be on HBO.
Literally. Literally.
um, but yeah, so at the party, Charlie comes clean to Katherine, but it's too late because she already found out the truth from Sabrina. And I loved Katherine's response here. She's like, nope. You lied. I don't want to be with a liar. I'm going to sleep by myself tonight. Goodbye. And I thought this was great. And I feel like the rest of this episode is like trying to frame it as if Katherine is like running away from her problems and she just needs to stick with it to make the relationship work. And I'm like, you don't, you find out that the person that you are sticking with is a liar.
Yeah, because I was like, isn't that part of the lesson? Is that not only are you changing your behavior, but you're changing kind of like what you put up with in the
Mhm.
relationship. And I 100% was like, oh no, she's like sticking to her boundaries. She's not stuffing it away and then later resenting him.
Yeah.
She didn't take it out on Sabrina at all. Like I was like, oh no, she actually like learned something, and he just, I feel like, didn't at
Has
all.
learned nothing. I really feel like he's learned nothing.
Mhm.
But I guess we'll figure it out. I haven't even looked up if anyone is still together after the show, so we can Google that
I
together.
I'm spoiled with that, but
Ooh, okay,
it's
perfect. Then you can just
interesting.
tell me when the time comes. I can't wait.
Sounds good.
Also, did you know that Cam and Emily had a baby from season 2 of this show?
Yes, they're like my one couple that I feel like their fame has kind of maybe not transcended the too hot to handle universe, but like I feel like they are, the it couple.
Well, they're
And
the only couple, I think.
are they fully the only couple that's still together?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that makes me sad. But no, I really like them. I really, really, really like them. So
Yeah.
congrats to Cam and
Most
Emily.
of the couples that come from this show ultimately end up being people with like a 14-hour time difference, and it's like, how do you overcome that? That's a pretty big one.
Yeah, which we got a lot of conversations about that in these episodes, which I liked because I felt like also and maybe I just don't remember this, but I feel like that is also something that's different from past seasons, is like we kind of got to hear about how they would deal with the time change, which yeah, it's not setting them up for success. Like that's why I was like kind of, not to bring it back to Love Island, but that's just what's on my mind. But it's like sometimes I was like, I wish they were just all from the States, because at some point it doesn't, like, that is putting such a huge amount of pressure on a couple that is like brand new and doesn't really know each other outside of the show.
I hate to break it to you, but they weren't all from the States on Love Island USA.
Mm. Sorry, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. I was like annoyed that Liv was from
Oh, got it, got it,
Australia
got it.
and
Yeah.
Aaron was from England and stuff. But like this show has always had that, where
Yes.
they're from all over the place, which is part of the intrigue for sure. And that's the fun part too. But like it just doesn't set any couple up for success if
Got it,
we
got
are
it,
still
got it.
on the
Yes.
premise that this is for real dating purposes. Like
It's so yeah, I like this show has like some weird ideological stuff at its core where it's like, is it about dating or is it about like purity culture and like gender essentialism? I don't know.
yeah,
At
yeah,
least
no, literally.
at least in this season, no one took a mirror to look at their yoni to talk about how that's the key of being a woman. Because guess what? It's not the key of being a woman. There are women who don't have yonis,
Yeah,
and they're still women.
100%. Yeah, 100%. You're right. What is truly the premise of the show?
Yeah, and I don't know, and I don't know that we will ever know.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Outside of that, yeah, having casual hookups distracts you from
Yeah.
finding like real love.
Like they're 22. Why would they be looking for real love? Like they're all having like maybe more active than the average, but like very normal experiences for people in their early 20s. And it's then the show is basically like, and you're all bad people for doing what everyone else is doing, but just being better at it. Like
100%. Because
crazy.
the oldest cast member was Demari, right? At 27. So
I
it's
think
like
so, yeah.
that's like getting up there in terms of like how
Damari's
long.
27
I think
and
so.
he
Yeah.
needed his mom at the big age of 27 to say, you should treat women the way you would want me to be treated.
Correct.
That's 10 times more embarrassing now. I'm
But
sorry. Like, ugh.
yeah, I no, that's fair. I think 27, it's getting up there. Like you should probably stop being a fuckboy and like learn better. But like you're right, like 22 to like even 26, it's like whatever. Just do it. Like,
27, I'm like, whatever. If you're gonna do dirt, you're gonna do dirt. And like some people are gonna do dirt forever and never settle down, and that's also okay. Um,
yeah.
I'm just like really hung up on him like not understanding that women are humans until the womb challenge, because he keeps bringing up that challenge and how much it impacted him and changed his like way of thinking. And I just
know.
I think he thinks he ate with that, but he did not.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I know. I know.
the other kind of plot line going on is that Flavia is attracted to Jaylen and is kind of conflicted about Joao because he's a really nice guy and a good guy, and her habit is typically to push away a nice guy for a bad boy. So she's conflicted because Jaylen is the bad boy and she's interested, and she does not communicate with Joao about this at all. At one point, she literally says to him, "You have nothing to worry about," and then has a confessional where she's like, "I just don't know what to do. I'm so attracted to Jaylen."
Yeah, again, it's like, okay, is this episode 1? Like, I'm really struggling, that this was in episode 8.
Of her second
Um,
season.
I know, of her second goddamn season, 100%. It's so frustrating. Also, it's like, is Joelle the nice guy in this situation? Who's to say?
I mean, I still think Joao escaped from a local high school and shouldn't be there. So I'm not the best judge.
No, he literally looks like a child.
And like we might just be getting old now, I guess. But I feel like
Mhm.
I don't know. I feel like we don't look like old, but I feel like he looks so young.
So young. I know. I know. So young.
Ugh, it's okay. But I mean, I don't like Joel hasn't done anything wrong. Like I feel like him and Flavia do have like it seemed like they had a really good connection, but then it just all fell apart.
Mhm.
Um we then they do the workshop for the women, which is basically like, "Oh, do you ever shut down and not discuss your issues? Well, if you have an ice bath, then you will feel vulnerable and then you will be able to talk about your issues and then everything will be fine." Which I think is flawed as a premise, but it did seem to work for 100% of these women.
100%. I felt like this actually had the potential to be the best workshop we've seen on this show.
Well, the bar is very low. The bar is
Yeah,
extremely low for that.
like, the bar is in hell, but I was like,
Yeah.
I get what they're playing with here. Like, I was like, okay, that makes sense. Whereas, like, so like the um colors for change one or whatever the one is.
Don't even get me started on that yet. We're not there yet.
But like it's like compared to like the shit we're like fed, this I thought
Compared to
actually made a lot of
the
sense.
energy orgasms,
Yeah.
which just turned everybody on and accomplished nothing.
Yeah. I was like, this actually I feel like could make a lot of sense. Um
Yeah.
but yeah. So I enjoyed this one, but like, yeah, it wasn't I don't
I
know.
Yeah, okay, so what I really like is I've seen on a couple of shows over the past year involving some form of ice bath on a date. And so typically it will be like a man and a woman on a date, and then the man does the ice bath and is like, "Oh, it's so cold and horrible." And then the woman is like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that." Or they like do it together and then have like a hot shower together afterwards as part of the date, which I've also seen. And so the fact that they just had the women doing the ice baths, I thought was very innovative. And the part where all of the boys at the villa suddenly hear all of the women
Been
just
screaming.
screaming and they're like
Yeah.
trying to look over the wall to see what's going on. Like, are they okay? I thought was very, very funny.
That was really funny. And yeah, ice baths are very in vogue right now. So I feel like they're cropping up on like every TV show that I watch.
Yeah.
But
Would you ever do
yeah.
an ice bath, Tori?
Yeah. I've done lots of cold plunges before. I guess maybe that's
Really? Like
yeah,
in the
yeah.
ocean?
No, like at spas. Like Nordic spas.
I was like, "Oh my god, do you go down to Palace Road and get in the ocean?"
I wish I was one of those girls. Shout out to all the cold plungers in
Yeah.
Victoria
I'm
because there
such
are a
a
lot.
baby that I don't know if I could do it. But if you wanted to do it, I would do it with you.
We should
I would
go.
go.
Yeah. There's a
But if
lot
I
of really good ones.
die, then
You
that's
won't. No,
a
you
problem.
won't. You won't die. I don't know if the cold plunges I've done, because these ones actually had ice cubes in them.
Mhm.
I don't know if the ones that I've been in are as cold as this one, but it feels really good. And you do get like a natural like high from doing it, like endorphins or whatever. So
Mm, I
I
don't buy.
truly
I just think the people who say that, like about running or whatever, have just like never done drugs before.
no, literally. And it's like, because everyone's like, oh, the health benefits, the health benefits. And it's kind of like, it's one of those chicken or the egg things about like, well, the people that have the time and money to do cold
Mhm.
plunges have better health outcomes because of their time and their money, maybe not the cold water that they're sitting in for 2 minutes.
Yeah. It's listen, we're not doctors. We don't have to interrogate that. But the cold plunge worked for the women.
Yeah,
They
it
all
did.
talk about all of their issues about holding back and all of that. And after they return to the villa, Joel and Flavia really talk everything out. And Joel was like, I'm hurt. I can't do this right now, and walks away, which I feel he doesn't get the same level of kind of judgment that Katherine got for being like, I don't want to be with a liar, which I don't think is fair. I think that both of them made a valid choice.
Mhm.
Um, Meanwhile, Charlie and Katherine hash it out, and he's just like, wow, I'm so grateful we actually had a combo about this. Like, this is so good. And I'm just pissed because I'm like, why did they have to have a conversation about this? They could have just been over. Like, good for her. Um,
Mhm.
but it doesn't matter because they get a green light and they make out, and then he's gonna sleep in her bed tonight.
I don't think they deserved a green light, specifically
Okay, no.
him.
The bar for green lights has been very low this season. Like Demari and Bri get 3 by the end of the season. That's crazy.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think that they deserved it, but I will say I feel like their kiss had the most chemistry out of all of the green light kisses.
Yeah, because they've been practicing, unlike all the rule followers.
That's fair. But yeah, I was like good chemistry, but I was like you guys straight up don't deserve it. Like I really feel like maybe she did some of the heavy lifting in this situation and some of the like emotional labor, and I feel like he did um like truly nothing.
He literally was like, oh, finally, she's talking to me again. Great. Like, boo.
Yeah.
Um, So, but everyone's happy for them that they're back on track. Gianna's like, no rule breaks, and then like puts up her blanket and goes to bed. Chris and Sabrina are sleeping in bed together, and they do break the rules and kiss in the night. And
Yeah.
that looked like a kiss with passion. That I think had some.
Are you
Hello,
back?
I'm
Oh,
back. Are
you
you
are
back?
back. Yes. I thought that like so just wait, this is when they used the excuse that Chris and Sabrina are a new couple, so they were like kind of allowed it because they're
This like
exploring
so
a new
they
connection. I
yeah
was
so
like,
they Yeah, I don't get that, but I guess a few other people have used that as rationale this season and it's been accepted. But
yeah.
Lana comes in the morning and she goes, "Every couple is getting a date today except the couple that broke the rules last night." And we find out that it's Chris and Sabrina, and everyone's like, "It's his first time breaking the rules. Like,
Yeah.
it's $6,000. He didn't do more than kiss. Like, it's fine. Let him have that one thing." And so now the prize pool is down to $125,000,
Mhm.
which is still more than the first couple of seasons of this show got as a total prize from the beginning.
Mhm.
And Chris and Sabrina won't get a date, but Chris still wants to use the time to build a connection with Sabrina. And Joao and Flavia will have a date later in the day because they need to sort out their relationship first.
I was like, okay, Lana, like tear them to shreds. Like
Right?
it
Get him
was
again.
no, literally, it was so funny. Also, I just love how Chris and Sabrina had no time to breathe because usually when they finally get called out by Lana, it's like, 12 hours later, 24 hours later. And it's like, you don't get 5 hours. Like,
Yeah.
so brutal.
It's like you kissed 5 minutes ago and here's your bill because checkout is at 11 and y'all need to leave.
Exactly. So yeah, 125. It's funny. You're totally right though. Like I loved on the seasons where it was like down to like 12K or whatever by
Yes,
this point.
like
Yeah.
season 1, I think everyone got like $6,000 each at the end of the season because it's split
Yeah.
amongst everyone. And then
Yeah.
you get like the very funny moment of Chloe when she goes on the circle being like, it was like $10 when it was all
Yeah.
said and done.
Yeah. Like that to me
Um,
is so funny. But yeah, they started with 250, which in season 5 they only started with 200.
yeah.
So
It was the
yeah.
biggest pot ever because
Ever.
I guess they were able to save the 50K for Mario Lopez's appearance fee and give it to the
The
Philippines
cast.
management. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair.
Um, so okay, we get our final dates. And they are some budget ass dates, let me tell you. Not one yacht, not one helicopter. The only boat is a kayak. Like pretty bad. So Bri and Demari are like at a Jeep and they have what might only be orange juice, but what I'm hoping is mimosas and some
Like
fruit.
it was so bad. It was so low budget. Yeah, like obviously it's like it looked beautiful because everything looks beautiful on the show, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was like super low budget. My back would have been aching sitting on that Jeep hood for the 2 hours that it took to film this,
Oh
but
my god. Yeah, I can only now.
but it was exciting. Like this, I felt like again at this point because I hope people have watched the full set. Can we like fully spoil at this
Oh
point?
yeah, we can talk.
Yeah.
Hey, anyone, if you are listening right now and you haven't watched to the very end, or you care about being spoiled, stop. We are going to talk full spoilers from here on out. I should have said that at the top of the show, but I am not a professional like you. But here we go. Full spoilers incoming.
Yeah,
Three, two,
also it's like I feel like me talking about it would have spoiled it anyways, but it's like at this point, it's like Bri and Demari are like running away with it.
yeah,
And it makes this conversation still really fun and like exciting and stuff like that. But it just feels like a slow march to the finale at this point because there's just
yeah.
no other competition.
Well, and even if you think about like the rest of the show, I think that they've been forecast as the winners very early on. Like Bri was like very clearly a star of the show, and Demari was really in the mix as well. So
Mhm.
I'm not sure what else could have even been done. But I just hate how he keeps bringing up the womb workshop, and
I know, you really do.
he's like, I was like, I just nothing I think makes me more upset. Well, no, other things make me more upset. But something that makes me very upset is when people are like, I'm a feminist because I realize that I have a sister or I have a mom or I have a grandma. And it's like, I don't understand why people can't just understand the inherent humanity of the other people around them without having like a close to them example. And so it just really bothers me. And the fact that he had this issue at the big age of 27, mind you, and then he keeps going back to it. We got it. We got the point. You didn't think women were people until the womb challenge. Enough. Please stop. Please stop talking about it. I've had enough.
Yeah, no, I get that. I feel like it's tough when people are like, "Well, like I used to think this way," and it's like, "How did you actually ever think that way?" Like
Like,
that's
what do
really a
you
tough pill to
mean?
swallow. Yeah, 100%. I get it. And the fact that he keeps drawing attention to it,
Yeah.
I feel like
Like,
is making it way
didn't
worse.
if he didn't keep bringing it up, I probably would have, like, gotten over it with the last batch of episodes and been like, "Well, that was weird, but, like, it's in the past now," but he won't let it be in the past because he keeps bringing it up. I
Mhm.
don't know. Put him
Mhm.
back in the womb again. Maybe he'll come out like a fully evolved person.
Human? Yeah, yeah. I would
Um,
hope so.
but Anyways, it works, and this works for Bri, and he apologizes once again for his behavior on the date with Valentina, which seems like it was 7 years ago, because Valentina's also gone for personal reasons. Like, they just, like, had a quick flash that was like, yeah, she left, bye. So it feels super irrelevant, but he asks her to be his girlfriend, and she says yes. So we've got a boyfriend girl.
Love that for them, truly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it, like, I think that's the other part is, like, this show does need relationships to progress at this point for, like, the retreat to seem valid. So, do you think they felt pressured because they were the only couple to, like, have their shit together at this point?
I don't know. I don't think that this show has pressure for, like, a boyfriend girlfriend label in the same way that some other shows do. Like, I feel like on Love Island, there is a lot more pressure to put an actual label on it. I think in this case, as long as they're just saying, oh, we want to try it in the outside and be exclusive, I think that would be enough. But Demari kept alluding, like, oh, there's her, so I'm glad we're getting a date. It's like, yeah, we know. I knew what he was going to ask her the second he said that in his confessional. There was no surprise.
100%. Do you think any of it was, like, gameplay?
I don't know. I feel like they didn't need any gameplay. Like, they were so ahead of the pack. Like, I don't think they needed it. Especially, like, if Charlie and Katherine hadn't just had a big fight, maybe they would have needed it. But I also just, like, don't think people were playing the game, because if they were, Flavia would have never done all that with Joel and Jaylen, and Katherine and Charlie would have, like, resolved their issue a lot faster.
Yeah. That's fair.
I just don't know that there's a lot of gameplay going on.
It's truly hot dummies on islands.
They are
it's really
the hottest dummies, and they are on an island.
Yeah.
And they, of course, get a green light when she says she's going to be his girlfriend, which, of course, I feel like they've been getting so many green lights when they don't even deserve them. In this moment, I feel like they deserve it. So,
yes,
of course, they were going to get it.
Agreed.
So then Katherine and Charlie are on their date, and they had to take a double kayak and paddle power themselves over to a beach to have, like, a picnic on the beach with champagne.
Yeah, I would have been so sweaty and out of breath, and also I wouldn't have been able to, like tandem kayaking. There is a little bit of an art to it, so I probably would have pushed my guy out of the boat at some point. So, like, cheers to the.
I mean, I have to assume, like, Katherine did what I would have done, which is nothing, and let Charlie paddle them the whole way.
Literally, you're right. Why would I be trying? Actually, I feel like I would be, at this point, still trying to be like, I'm athletic, but no, you're right. At any other point in the relationship, I'm keeping my paddle on my lap. And
I think even in, like, if it was a first date, oh, I lost my paddle. It's in the waves took it away. I'm so sorry. I wish I could paddle. Like, I'll just put my hands in the water. Oh, I'm so sorry. I really wanted to do this physical exercise.
Yeah, I just don't want to do that on film. Sorry.
I've actually never even been in a kayak still. So
let's go.
I don't think I'd be good at it.
Oh, we'll get a tandem one. We can vlog it.
I'll buy a GoPro for the occasion.
Yeah.
That's so funny. So they just have, like, I don't know. They're, like, talking about how they want to make it work even though it's long distance, but then he just is like, I do really like you, and I know in my heart that you are the one. And then she's like, I feel the same way, and they get a green light. And again, I don't feel like they deserved a green light, and I don't think that he knows in his heart that she is the one, but whatever, go on with that.
No, that was insane to say. Like, it was a sweet sentiment, but, like, I was like, that is, like, what you say in a proposal. You're a situationship at this point.
And even then, barely that. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. But it also could be, again, like going back to the Love Island, like the Aaron and Kayla of it all, of like dropping "I love you" to get out of trouble kind of vibes. It could be something like that.
100%. Have you ever been to Grimsby, Ontario, where Sabrina's from?
No. What? Have you?
I did not. Sorry. Why am I talking about Sabrina?
Well, because we're about to talk about Kirsten and Sabrina.
Yeah.
Because they're next on the notes.
They're next on the notes. Yeah. Katherine lives in LA. He's in England. So yeah,
That
I
is
think that's
such a big time. I
I
cannot
know.
stress enough how big the time difference is. So in the okay, right now, that the time that we are recording this podcast, okay, it is 9:30 p.m. in the Pacific time zone where we live and where Los Angeles is, and it is 5:30 in the morning
I
in
know.
London. So
I
there are
know.
brief windows of time when you can even text.
100%. Yeah. It just seems like an impossible situation, to be honest, because it's like they just have the real life after the show. Like we've seen this for 25 years with The Bachelor, and then and that's in the continental US, or at least like maybe there's some Canadians thrown in there. But like
Yeah.
that is so wild that you would try to make it work off the show and in like a different
Charlie came on
continent.
this season being like, I like Kylisha, I like Katherine, and I like Lucy. And I'm picking Lucy because she's from the UK. What happened
Yeah.
to that practicality, Charlie?
100%. Yeah,
Ugh.
100%. But yeah, they get a green light for like truly nothing because they are still really, I feel like, unsure and feeling uncertain. And
Agreed.
yeah.
It's so weird.
Anyways.
So then back at the villa, Chris sets up his own little date with Sabrina because they're not actually getting one. And it looks like he's chess, but they don't actually play chess. He just talks about how the queen is the most important piece and is kind of flirting with her. But then they do talk about, how they used to date before this experience and how they're really getting to know each other and connecting and opening up in ways they don't normally do. And so they do want to talk about maybe making it work after this. But of course, they're very new. So I feel like this conversation felt almost a little love bomby with how intense it was when they met yesterday or maybe 2 days ago.
I know. And again, this is the tough part of these dating shows where they at the end there's people that have been around since day one and then new folks that just don't have a chance to really explore the connections. But then I feel like do you feel like any of the love bombing stuff was malicious, or do you just think it was in the heat of the show? Because
I think they're just caught up in the moment. I don't think it's in a narcissist bad way. It just I think is walking along that path and the way that it's really easy to do when you meet someone and you like them a lot right away, and also it feels really intense and they're on too hot to handle, so they're locked in a villa together. So I think it's mostly just that.
Yeah, 100%.
Everyone comes back from their dates, talks about their green lights. We find out that Bri and Demari is official. And then Joel and Flavia go for their date, which is a campfire. And
this was the best scene of the entire show.
Because it was literally the scene from the Barbie movie.
Yeah,
100%. ripped from the screen. Because Flavia is trying to talk to Joel, and it feels like she really likes him and is trying to make it work and trying to apologize for what she did wrong. But he is totally stonewalling her, is not interested, and which is fair because he feels like he can't trust her because she kind of betrayed him a little bit. And she's like, I really think this could work in the real world. I think that we could make it work. Blah, blah, blah. And he goes, can I pull out my guitar? And then he sings a song about what are we doing? Are we over now? He finishes singing, says nothing. And Flavia goes, Okay, so I guess I'll ask you the same question. What are we doing here? And it was a breakup. He broke up with her via an original song.
Which is iconic in some way.
It's okay, you know how there's like fame and infamy?
Yeah, this is infamous.
What's the infamy version of iconic?
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Like, this is iconic in a bad way, for sure. I thought this was wild. I truly thought when he whipped out the guitar, he was actually going to confess his true feelings and lock it down, a la Chris and Sabrina, a la the other couples.
No, he said it is what it is.
Yeah, I just like also this reminded me just it's like everyone is an influencer just on this show to make a buck. So that was a stark realization as well. And then I just think it's so funny. The producers truly deserve, I feel like, an Emmy nomination for this because whoever thought to set it up exactly like the Barbie movie, genius. Like,
literally. Yes. Well, I mean, that's the other thing too, is it's like that scene in the Barbie movie hits hard because it is also kind of based in reality.
100%. 100%. And I was spoiled on this. I saw this on TikTok, a clip about this before I actually watched the show.
Oh my God.
And at first I didn't see that it was Joel. Like, because again, you're just kind of like in a TikTok hole. And it was so similar to the Barbie movie that I literally just thought it was a clip of the Barbie movie. And then I had like a jump scare that it was Joel. It was just the sitting by the firelight and stuff like that. Yeah. It was just the way that they filmed it. Like, it was just so perfect. So yeah, this was wild to me. I also just feel like he kind of did like a little bit of a 180 because he was definitely upset, but he wasn't like definitive like this.
Yeah, it was weird. It was really, really weird. But the best part of it, honestly, was they go back to the villa, they go their separate ways. And Flavia is telling like Jaylen, Gianna, and a few others about the breakup song. And Jaylen's like, that's weird. And which, of course, he says that because he's interested in Flavia. And then John is like, why is he making a humiliation ritual out of this? Which I loved. And Flavia's like, yes, I feel humiliated. Like, I will smash his guitar if he brings it near me. But while that's happening, Joel is playing the song for Charlie, Bri, Demari, Sabrina, and Chris in the bedroom. And when he's done, literally crickets. Everyone in the, like, nobody moved. Everyone in the room is like, what just happened? Demari's like, wow, you're a savage. But like, no one knows what to say to that.
Yeah. Truly no one knew how to react. But it's like, yeah, that is so brutal. It's mean-spirited. You could just tell that he was like doing it for the bit and that it would get a lot of airtime, and he knew that this was gonna land, like it would be replayed on TikTok, and like, I don't know, are people doing like impressions of this and stuff? I'm sure there's people like he wanted to be meme-ified.
Well, and to me, that's why it doesn't work. Like, the best memes are when you don't aim to be a meme, you become a meme, right? So we'll see. We'll see how that goes for him. Flavia's like, I'm done with musicians, and they all go to bed. She's sleeping in the bed, I think with Gianna or maybe Lucy. No, I think she's with Lucy, because then Gianna's like, okay, anyone, lights out, bye, good night, because it's so awkward. And then we wake up the next morning on episode 10 with Lana saying, hey, the winner is in the air. Like, even the single people have really developed a lot. So today's the last day to prove why you deserve to win. But expect the unexpected. The Big Brother reference in Too Hot to Handle.
Yeah. Okay. Was the unexpected the extra prize money?
I mean, I guess so. I don't know. We there's not much to even really talk about with the finale. Oh, sorry. Because so much of it is just them having like last day of school conversations with each other about how like they're gonna miss each other so much. It's truly nothing.
It never is on these fucking shows. Like, it never is any like it never is. This was the same with Love Island again. Sorry for bringing it up again, but it's like I would literally sometimes be like the 10-second jump ahead, and I would like just like hit it like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, Kayla and Aaron are on the screen. Let me skip this part.
Yeah, or it's like Aaron is doing his speech for Kayla at the coupling ceremony or whatever,
and
I'd go
for a podcast, and we had to watch every second.
No, and they would still be talking. Why am I doing this and you're still talking? It's so annoying. And that's these episodes. It's like you're just kind of like ding ding ding, and it's like you're still watching the same scene.
Yeah, I was so glad. Like, Perfect Match just randomly made the finale episode 2.5 hours long, and I was so glad that they did not do that with this show, because it's like, why are you dragging out the most boring part of the show? But so they have their final workshop, which is called The Colors of Change, and it's described as a time to reflect on who they have been and who they are now. They are all going to speak one by one about their experience, and then choose a single word to represent what they've learned, and then pick a color to associate with that word. I did not write down any of the speeches. They made me so uncomfortable. I couldn't do it, but I did write down all of their words.
Yeah, which I appreciate. I was just thinking about if I was listening to these speeches standing in the hot sun, just like absolutely melting, I would be going like this. The wrap it up.
Yeah, wrap it up. You'd be tapping. Why am I doing this and you're still talking?
For those audio listeners, but like, 100%. I was just at some point I was like, I'm looking at my watch, and this is my favorite TV show.
Yes, and I was looking at my watch when Charlie was talking, and he was the first one to go. So it was okay. So Charlie's word was growth. Katherine's word was authenticity. Lucy's word was courage. Jaylen's word was consciousness. Christian's word was maturity, which, like, who are you, babe? You haven't been on the show in so long.
No, literally.
Gianna's word was independence. Joao's word was truth, and this is where he's like weeping and he apologizes for the breakup song.
Too little, too late.
Flavia's word is friendship, where she's like, Joao, I still want to be friends with you, but never break up with anyone with a song again. Which I did like that. Chris's word was connection. Sabrina's word was openness. Demari's word was respect, and Bri's word was trust. And they all chose a color to associate with, but they didn't even tell us every color for each one, so I didn't write them down. But they were all wearing white because they were going to throw the colorful powder associated with each color/word all over themselves. And then it's literally a scene of like all the colorful powder being thrown in the air all over everyone. And then like growth in green will flash across the screen, and the trust in red, and like all of them in their associated colors just started flashing on the screen while they were like throwing the powder on each other. And I was like, okay, what did you learn? Truly, what did you take away from this workshop? Nothing.
No, because you do need the final speeches to get, the reflection and the final kind of wrap up for the season. So it's like, yes, we need to do that. The bastardization of Holy is a whole other conversation.
Yeah, it's they're doing it. Like, I don't even know if it like is it it's cultural appropriation, right? But like also not, because there's no culture associated with what they're doing. Like what they're doing is not cultured. So I'm like, are they even doing cultural appropriation? Because it's so like empty and totally devoid of meaning what they're doing. But they're using holy, like it's not right. The whole situation is not right.
I'm just dying. But like just thinking also back to the ice bath versus this as like the symbolization for what the workshop is about. At least that one made a lot more sense. This
I couldn't
made no sense.
intellectualize it. This makes no sense.
Yeah.
This means nothing. It
Yeah.
accomplishes nothing. I think they were probably told they couldn't have the same words, so then that's where you end up with like consciousness and like some of the more interesting choices. Super weird. And then it's fine. They all just go to the cabana because Lana is giving them some info, which is that this is the biggest prize pot ever. And the majority is going to go to the couple with the biggest journey and change. However, $25,000 will go to either Lucy, Chris, or Gianna. Lucy and Chris only broke one rule each, and Gianna broke no rules at all. So one of them will
Yeah.
get $1,000, which I actually do like this because I feel like they've never actually given a reason for people to not break the rules, and this incentivizes someone to not break the rules.
Who was on last season that was just like such a stickler for the rules?
I can't remember his name, but then he ultimately ended up breaking the rules when he made a connection, and then the winner was like, "Oh, I want to share the money with him," because he like kept the prize pot large.
Yeah, that was like
his name.
It's like, of course you didn't break the rules because you didn't want to with anybody. Like, it was so funny. But I also like this because, like, you're right. The whole point.
It was Dre. His name was Dre. Sorry.
Yes, Dre. Yes.
I forgot that Elise won this show. I literally just covered her on a full season of Perfect Match, and not once did I say, "Oh, she won to want to handle."
Me with Flavia this season. Like,
Flavia, I remembered better because of the Creed situation when Lana confronted him and he had been lying to like 3 women. I only remember her because of that.
Right. But yeah, completely agree in terms of like a game mechanism, because other than keeping the pot big, there is no incentive for people to not rule break, which is, I guess, the whole premise of the show. And I guess
but then like, most of them won't get any money. So why did they keep the pot big?
I know. And it's like when the pot, like, I don't know, it's like when it's divided up by so many people, like, what's a kiss at this point? Like, truly nothing. It's like each person's losing like $200 or whatever.
Exactly. It's really not that much, which is the philosophy I want the next season of contestants to go in with, because I want them to be messy and do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And so then the final 2 couples are obviously Demari and Bri, Charlie and Katherine, and everyone else is going to go do a jury vote, and they vote, and the 100,000 goes to Bri and Demari, and then Gianna gets the 25,000. I would have been so mad if Lucy or Chris got it. Like, well, they broke a rule, and Chris broke a rule literally last fucking night. So why would you give him $25,000 today? So I was really glad that Gianna got it.
I know, that was the one weird thing about it, because I think if I were to do this show's like setup, I would say if there's anyone at the end that has broken no rules, they would have got the 25K.
Well, and I don't think Christian broke on any rules because no one was interested in him. So why wasn't he in contention?
Because he was a nobody. He could have been in contention and they just cut that part.
Like, that's true, because he was just not on the show. Oh, poor guy. Well, at least he, unlike I think Jordan was his name, took his ball and went home the second he got rejected. So at least Christian stuck around even though he got rejected. That's good. That's better.
Yeah, you make the money, but oh god, I think about this all the time. If I was ever on reality TV, it's like you finish your season and you're like all hyped on it, and then you get like purple Kelly'd. Like, I would end it all. Like,
it would be a tough pill to swallow. So now the rules are over. Everyone's making out. I did laugh when the 4 single people were just having a group hug while all the couples were making out.
Like, so relatable.
Because they've
Like,
grown too much to have like a makeout with someone they don't like romantically. So they're not even gonna fake it with the other contestants on the show. They're just group hugging. And then there's fireworks going, and the show ends with Joel just yelling, "Too hot." And then everyone else goes, "To handle, too hot, to handle," over and over again. And I was like, what is this show?
no, that was a low point for me. Like,
I literally, like, that happened, and I was like, okay, this season's over. One more podcast to record. And that really happened. Like, this is my job. This is literally my job.
no, it was like screen to black, and you know when you can see your reflection in the laptop, and I like
Yes.
it, and you just reconsider your whole life. That was me as Joelle was yelling too hot.
It's like as if you
To
had
handle.
watched like something really embarrassing, but it was just too hot to handle.
Yeah.
Which is still embarrassing, but not like really embarrassing.
Yeah, no, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, I try to pretend it's not because again, I have made it my brand and my personality to talk about these shows. But I'm human too, okay? And my word is shame. Thank you for laughing at that.
I wish if there's someone who could just like please just like like throw the word on the screen right now with some like
Lavina, we need
colors.
you.
Yeah, like, with some bright colors, just shame. That would be lovely.
I'll see if she has time. I think she's busy with Big Brother, but hey, maybe she'll be willing to make one short form video for me, just from the love in her heart. But that's it. That is season 6 of Too Hot to Handle. Torry, is there anything else about Too Hot to Handle you need to talk about before we're done with the season forever?
No. Do you want me to spoil it for you?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes. Who's not? Tell me everything.
Do you want to take guesses?
Well, if I was going to guess, I would assume that Demari and Bri are the only ones still together, but I feel like that's not the case because you asked me to guess, so I don't know. Just tell me.
Bri and Demari have broken up. They left the retreat in a relationship. They are not officially together anymore, but they are on good terms and are working on things. They consider themselves to be on a break.
Yeah, okay, no, that means the show came out, so they're gonna post 5 Instagram posts together and then never talk again.
Truly, 100%. And then, because when was this filmed?
I think this filmed a long time ago.
Yeah, so
Like, I think this filmed at least 6 months ago.
yeah, so it's like they're not together. They're just gonna try to like ride. Well, they're the winners, honestly.
Yeah, which as they should get a little clout
Yes,
as a treat, and then you could be on Perfect Match season 3. It's fine.
100%. I say this with The Bachelor too. Just fake it for like 6 months and then release your statement just for the PR opportunities, to be honest.
Well, at least, but like Bachelor has more opportunities than Too Hot to Handle. Let's be
100%.
here.
100%. Charlie and Katherine, are they together?
Yes?
Yeah.
What?
I know. I was shook to my core.
Has he like moved to LA?
Did it say that? Let me see. It says it doesn't say in the article. People did a whole article. I don't think it actually specifies if they moved in together or moved to the same country.
That is wild.
That's wild. Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
Wow. After meeting all her friends and family in LA, Charlie says he actually got down on one knee to ask her to be his girlfriend.
Okay.
He says their connection is special and they don't argue much and they FaceTime every day.
Do you find Charlie
they
hot?
still live on opposite. I think Charlie has a hot face, However, his hair is not doing it for me. And I don't think it's because of the gray. I think it's the haircut. Because when he was in the wolf hood in like the kink party at the start, I was like, who's that hot guy? But then he wasn't hot anymore when he took off the wolf head for me personally.
Love that.
Yeah. And so like, I don't know what that says about me, but I don't know. What about you? Do you think he's hot? Like,
no.
they don't put ugly people on these shows, but he's just like not my type.
No, it's
Haley
like literally. Yes, that's what I was thinking about her. But it's like literally debating between like a 9 and a 10, basically at this point.
Yeah,
yes,
like
they are all hot.
They're not putting anyone on who's not. It just all comes down to preferences ultimately.
Yeah.
I also really try to remind myself, like, I know they're real people on TV, but they're like not real people. Like, they do not have the same 24 hours that we have, Torry. So like, it's just not fair to think of them as regular people.
No, that's fair. I think that's fair.
Yeah. Okay, are Chris and Sabrina still together?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't
yeah.
Think so. Has Flavia gotten with anyone, or is she still single?
I'm not sure. Let's see.
Yeah, they're not together, but apparently Joel and Flavia are still best friends and in each other's lives without any pressure or commitment of a relationship.
Yeah, okay. I wouldn't be friends. Like, is our time up now?
Not okay. Chris saying he added a picture of Sabrina to his vision board. What does that even
mean? So yeah, so Chris and Sabrina didn't become exclusive. And it seems like they're still in each other's lives, but again, not in an official capacity.
Wow.
That seems like they learned nothing.
When did they have time to learn, Torry?
Yeah, that's
like fair. In the cultural appropriation challenge. Like,
no, that's fair. I don't know.
Like, I guess she did go in an ice bath, but like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. So, are you surprised by any of those?
I am shocked that Katherine and Charlie are together.
Me too. Me too.
It's crazy. Just I can't believe it. Well, I think that's officially it.
That's a wrap.
Talked about the whole season of Too Hot to Handle season 6. Torry, thank you so much for joining me. This has been a pleasure as always. Can you please let the listeners know once again where to find you so that they can get more from you?
Yeah, you can find me on socials at RTBP Podcast or at Ready to Be Romanced. And you can find my podcast, Ready to Be Petty and Ready to Be Romanced, on all podcast platforms.
Amazing. And go follow her. If people want to hear more from me, you can find me every week on Mess Magnets with Sasha Joseph, where we talk pop culture, celeb gossip, trending topics, all that good stuff. As well, I am on some of the Big Brother content over on Rob Has a Podcast. As well, I pitched a shirt idea to Rob and he made it. So if you want to support that, you can go to robhasawebsite.com/RHAP Brat and get a Brat shirt. The green from the supplier isn't quite right, but they have it in white. So I bought a white one and I'm going to dye it. So I will stay tuned to my socials to find out what happens when I dye my RHAP Brat shirt the correct shade of green. And you can follow me everywhere at Kirsten Said What, including twitch.tv/Kirsten Said What. Thank you so much for joining us for this season of Too Hot to Handle. And the next podcast on this feed will be a recap of the Love Island USA season 6 reunion on August 19th. So stay tuned. Have a good one. Bye.